Hi, I'm Elliot Kennel from the Cameron Group. We are a high-powered think tank specializing in energy and military systems. I'm an Air Force guy, and I'm very interested in drones. That's what my topic is for today. Here's a picture of a Ukrainian soldier launching a airborne drone. It's a lot like a toy that your kid could order from Amazon or Walmart.com, but it has much more significance. And I believe that it is a technical revolution. It's occurring in a very horrible situation in Ukraine. I have friends on both sides, in Russia and in Ukraine. I'm just praying for a resolution as quickly as possible. I don't know what that resolution is going to be. I just know that there's a great deal of suffering, and I'm not here to assign blame. I do have a different interpretation for what's going on over there than usual. I think that Putin invaded because he was afraid. I thought that he believed that Ukraine was becoming a military power capable of threatening Russia, not a weak country that he was going to knock over in 3 days. And I think his fears were justified. Ukraine is a very powerful military force, and he found that out. His fears were justified. But in any case, the battlefield is also a testing ground for military technology, and we're finding out about drone aircraft and what they can do. Not everybody agrees that about the significance of drone aircraft, but I'll make the case for why I believe that it is a very important part of the military technology portfolio. Elon Musk, for one, believes that it is a very important development. You may not like his politics, but he gave us PayPal, reusable rockets, and also 100-mile-an-hour sports cars. He must know something. Perhaps we should listen to what he has to say. This picture, I don't know if you can see it clearly, but it's maybe 1,000 drone aircraft flying in formation. And he says, well, some idiots are still building manned fighter jets like the F-35. I don't know why he singled out the F-35. I don't know that he means to say that we don't need any manned fighter planes or bombers for that matter. But the point is that he feels that, as I interpret him, that drone aircraft need to be well funded in the future, and I agree with that sentiment. What is a drone aircraft? Well, it simply means that it's a unpiloted aircraft, either that operates on its own, perhaps with artificial intelligence, or that it's remotely piloted from the ground, kind of like a video game. It can also be something that's unpiloted, that's floating in the water or underwater, like a submarine, like a torpedo. It can be something that's very large, like a bomber or a fighter jet, or something that's as small as a dragonfly. And in fact, American intelligence services did develop a uh, like a spy device that was similar to a dragonfly and was able to fly around and listen to people's conversations and relay that information by radio somehow. Is kind of very James Bond, I guess. But it can be small, can be big, can shoot, do whatever you can imagine. Just a question about whether you can build it or not. Yeah. They've been deadly in Ukraine, loaded with explosives. Russians can build these on an assembly line and just send them in waves. It's been tragically effective. And you can see the picture in the lower right-hand corner. It's a very simple airframe and a simple engine. And apparently they've got the assembly line going and they can just churn these out by the thousand. Here's a picture of some marine drones that float on the water, and they're very low profile, so it's hard to see them. They look just like waves. And these are also very effective, and they're able to do extensive damage to military assets. And I'll tell about these in just a minute. Um, Here's a picture on the lower right-hand corner of a Ukrainian marine drone that was sneaking up on a converted oil platform that had been converted into a radar. And with the help of some airborne drones, the marine drone was able to approach the uh, converted oil platform and strike it in just the right place in order to capsize it. And if you think about a oil platform as being a like $100 million asset, and the drones as being maybe, I don't know, a few tens of thousands of dollars, maybe $100,000 asset, that's a pretty good exchange rate. Low cost weapons are taking out very expensive assets. Also, up at top, I mentioned the Operation Spider's Web, in which the Ukrainians were able to smuggle drones deep into Russia and then let them out of the box. And they were able to find Russian aircraft, including nuclear capable bombers, and then fly into them and let off explosive charges. And they were able to damage or destroy some, numbers vary, but the reported numbers that I've seen are somewhere between 10 and 41 aircraft that were either damaged or destroyed. And again, these are relatively low cost devices, and they're able to do damage to very, very sophisticated, expensive aircraft. So that's really the amazing thing is you've got a low cost device. It's kind of like a model aircraft that your kids might buy, and they're able to do damage to the most sophisticated systems that the Russians have. Now, what do we need to worry about? What do we conclude from that? Well, we have in America a lot of high value targets. We know that we are home to a number of kind of wacko organizations and terrorists that probably live here. I don't know any personally, but we think that there are operatives that reside in America. They're seeing this on TV and saying, hey, maybe we can do some kind of activity ourselves. And they might threaten land-based and sea-based assets also. That's a scary thought. I used to think up until the past few months that the worst thing we had to worry about was shoulder-launched weapons that might be taken out of a car and fired from the shore into an asset that would be floating in the Gulf of Mexico, excuse me, Gulf of America. Sorry, President Trump. Uh, and now I'm thinking, well, no, you could put this on a fishing boat, and by law, a fishing boat can get within 500 meters of a drilling rig in the Gulf of America. Uh, that's all the keep out range that you're allowed to have. That's a scary thought. There's a lot of assets that are um, you can choose from in the Gulf of America. We need to have additional protection, I think, from the Coast Guard and from whatever other means are available to protect ourselves. Just as a warning of how not to do things, the Soviet Union at that time designed nuclear power plants and a hydroelectric dam that were all dependent upon the same source of cooling water, in the Novokhovka Dam that was taken out by the Russians early in the war, and therefore they were able to take out 7 power plants with one military operation. It was not a drone attack, but the point is that this is the type of thing that you set yourself up for if you've got everything, basically all your eggs in one basket. What it says is, in my mind, is that you should not build these gigantic power plants or gigantic chemical plants. Build smaller plants of whatever kind, smaller assets that have backups and backups to the backups, rather than gigantic projects that attempt to take advantage of economy of scale. Now, it's not the most economic way if you make things that are maybe 1/10 of your maximum capability. It's not the cheapest way to do business, but it might be the most safe way against the potential of being taken out by terrorist activity. So I'm saying smaller plants, segmented power grids, distributed generation, backups, and backups to the backups. That's the way that our society, I believe, is going to have to function in the future. So, what are the takeaways? Well, the genie is out of the bottle, so to speak. We now know how these drones can be a threat, both on the battlefield and also to society that's not at war like ours, but might have some terrorist activity that's present within the society that we don't actually completely know about, but we suspect that it might be a threat and we're on guard against it. We need to invest in drones for our side, and we need to protect ourselves against drones that are from the other side. I'm saying that the facilities that we build should probably be of smaller scale than we might otherwise like to build. And we ought to have multiple layers of backups. This is going to change the way that we think about how to best build our society, how we build production facilities. I think that we make smaller facilities of all kinds, and we put them in different locations, and we have backup plans at all times so we don't depend on any one thing that might fail and cripple the society. That concludes what I have to say. I'm sorry I don't have better, more optimistic news to present, but I think we have to take what we've learned from the battlefield in Ukraine, and we have to apply those bitter lessons, not close our eyes to what we're seeing. Thank you for your kind attention. Have a blessed day, and God bless America.